crisis, and we are seeing almost 65,000 people died in America, and across the world, thousands of people died. So we are seeing also the rise in domestic abuse, child abuse is heartbreaking, and corporate greed and all these things. So we are seeing both human evil and natural evil. And you talked about C.S. Lewis and natural evil and human evil. And Sam Harris says that we can discern evil without God or any other religion. And what would you say, for example, from C.S. Lewis' perspective on this thing?
See, C.S. Lewis, it's just so simple. We don't even think about this, okay? We hear people, atheists, say all the time, how can there be a God when there is so much injustice in the world? And the response is, if you're an atheist, how do you know the world is unjust? The only way you can call something unjust is if you have justice to measure it against. But if there is no God, if we are merely the product of survival of the fittest, then where are you getting your concept of justice? I can't call a line crooked unless I know what a straight line is. I need a measure of this. And again, if there is no God, I mean, if there's no God, then the only answer is something like survival of the fittest. But if that is the true, that system is completely amoral. There's nothing moral about that, right? In fact, I hate to say this, but if Darwin is true, then Hitler was right. Hitler basically took Darwinism and put it into practice and said, look, Darwinism has tried to strengthen the human race. I'm just going to go help them by getting rid of anybody that I feel is lesser. Paul, a lot of people don't know that in the great free country of the United States of America, they were practicing eugenics in the early part of the 20th century. They were sterilizing people that they thought were unfit physically or mentally, forcing them to be sterilized. I mean, Hitler just followed what we did. Now, thankfully, the horror of the Holocaust and the eugenics experiments that Hitler did kind of stop people from doing that. But it's coming back, and it will come back. And that's why he's kind of a jerk, but I'm happy about Peter Singer, because Peter Singer is one of the few scientists who has the courage of his convictions. He knows that in an atheistic world, then yes, a full-grown dog might have more rights than an unborn child or even maybe an autistic child. Do you see? But thankfully, Paul, the Peter Singers are few. Most atheists, thankfully, don't live in accordance with what they believe, right? And they know what morality is. And you know what morality is? It's the way you expect other people to treat you. So they know what that is, and we're lucky they don't. But if we ever really throw out morality and live by survival of the fittest, we're going to be in trouble, right? So, Lewis, again, we need to have a standard of these things. It can't just evolve because nature is unconscious and amoral, and it knows nothing about consciousness or morality. That's why, Paul, if a pit bull mauls a child, we do not put the pit bull on trial because the pit bull is not a moral, ethical, rational creature. We either let it go or we put it to sleep, but we don't judge it by moral parameters. But we do expect people. The people that did the 9/11 bombing, if they survived, we would have put them on trial. Well, to put them on trial means we understand they're moral, ethical people who understand morality and yet broke it anyway. If we didn't think they understood morality, we'd put them in an insane asylum. But instead, and there are some people we do that for, but most people we judge as moral, ethical creatures.